So here's an update to a video I covered a couple days ago, which is titled, "My ex tried to use Instagram to ruin my life, instead it backfired and now it's ruining hers." And guys, as a recap to this story before I get on what's going on here, that's about the guy who had the girlfriend for like 2 years and found out after, he thought they had a good relationship, that she'd been cheating on him for 6 months with her boss. Upon finding out, boom, kicked her to the curb, and she made out to be like he was the bad guy for dumping her. And to add insult to injury, she posted on Instagram basically saying that he did a lot of bad things to her and blah, 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 getting him a whole lot of hate. Completely could ruin a guy, right? Well, our guy here, who, by the way, didn't do those things and works in a women's shelter or something to help women because he had somebody that was, that happened to, he decided to say, hey, I'm going to defend my name. He posted on Instagram proof that he didn't do those things, proof that she was lying and cheated on him, and tagged her. And then she got a tsunami, an avalanche of people tracking her down somehow, went viral, unloading on her for everything she did, the lies she did and all that, getting threats, all that, and it resulted in her basically being put on administrative leave, basically means she's going to get fired, amongst many other things. People were wrecking her car, making threats, and she was begging him to take down that post or do something or say something, even though she had no problem defaming his name. And he didn't want to do it, and I said, flat out, let her suffer. She gets what she deserves. And she's only doing that because she got busted. But anyhow, here's an update to the situation, what's going on. And the official title of that Reddit post was titled, "Am I the a-hole for refusing to take down my post and letting my ex face the consequences of her cheating?" His update, he says, here's an update on how things ended up, and I really hope to post again about more funny and better stuff than all this drama. In the last post, I talked about my ex texting me to delete the post and end all this charade, and at the end, we come to an agreement. Do you think she'd do the same for him? No, she never took down her post. The agreement is extremely simple. She makes a public post on her Instagram page in which she honestly tells the truth about how our relationship ended and takes full responsibility for her false allegations, and then and only then I take down my post. Well, that's what we were all talking about, but then again, she could probably then say, I did it under duress. I was forced to do it. 3 days ago, she agreed, and she did. Actually, under the post, she got more hate than before, but that's not my problem, and I took down my post. About all this mess, I have to say that in the last 2 days after her apology post, and he's saying that in quotes, the situation has calmed down pretty naturally, but she still receives hate and death threats. Damn. But then again, you know what? I'm not surprised she's getting those type of threats, because good men have gone to prison over these things, because she was saying he did all sorts of bad stuff. On this part, I have to say that before deleting my post, I made it clear that insulting my ex and wishing her death was not normal, so please stop all this charade and respect her apologies. So until now, her profile passed from 2,000 comments to almost 500, and like I said, almost all not exactly kind, but the situation is going better, and I think people got tired of all this drama and simply moved on to another one. That's likely. That's usually how it works. Whatever crazy drama is going on, I've noticed, particularly in social media or whatever, eventually it dies down and moves on. In the last post, someone talked about a lawsuit for defamation, and you're absolutely right, but I just didn't have any intention and energy for something. I just wanted to make it disappear faster than I could. And for the last point, someone asked me if I resented her for all this mess, but actually I don't. What I feel for her is just pity and disappointment. The internet rage did the rest, even if I don't approve, obviously, for the death threats and all the extreme parts. So that is it, and I really hope not to update any more on all this mess. Now, I'm not done yet, guys. I'm going to read people with questions and comments and he responds. I get none of that. The thing is, I would be pissed about all this. I wouldn't have pity or disappointment for something they did to me. Think about it. This guy clearly is a good guy, but he's really taken too much of the high road here, in my opinion. Look what she did to him. You're together 2 years. She cheated on for 6 months. 6 months, guys. Just put that in perspective. 6 months of lying and sneaking around and getting pounded by, what's his name? She could have passed on a disease to you. She probably came home and kissed him with that guy's what in her mouth. I can go on here, right? And then he breaks up with her and makes him have to be a bad guy and tries to destroy his name. I wouldn't let that go. Maybe I would take that down if she took her thing down, but I wouldn't let that go, especially if that caused any kind of problems, But then again, I'm older, and I don't take shit, because you get to a point in your life, guys, you just don't take shit anymore. Well, anyhow, guys, I hope it's over and all that, and so that's that, and justice is served. But a few comments here. One guy says here, sounds like she didn't have Shane to begin with, so all's well that ends well. And the OP says, exactly. I would have never imagined all this mess, but here we are, and all this because of her victim complex, like I told her. Yeah, everybody's a victim nowadays. It's amazing to me. Well, the guy responds to him. He says, let this be a lesson. There are a lot of people, usually conservative, who tout F around and find out, and say stuff in subs where people get knocked out for picking a fight like they never do that again. People don't learn their lesson like that. She thinks she is the victim. He says, you need to sue her. You need the court to specifically name you as the victim. It isn't because she will ever learn. She won't. It's about your security and the justice you deserve. It's about making sure the next time she pulls some crap like this, and she will because they never learn from their consequences, that there is a paper trail to help the next victim get justice. That's a very good point. And someone like this will probably do something like this. Once a cheater, always a cheater. And he says, you're right about the fact that she didn't learn anything and probably would never, but it's just the legal aspect that I don't think is necessary. Not because of money problems. I mean, she did what she did, she got what she deserved, and that's it. I just want to move on from life, even if it gets harder than I thought. I get this guy wants to move on and close that book in his life from her. And, but she got consequences, at least, people obviously saw her thing and all that, which she never took down. How dumb was that? I mean, really. She has this post on there, and people keep coming back there and reading it, But anyhow, she needs to, I don't think that's enough. Another guy says here, does anyone else think that the ex-girlfriend is a huge moron because she just could have stayed quiet and avoid all this? She went and tried to defame an ex-boyfriend for no reason, really. And our guy says, you got my point. I still don't get why all this since we broke up and everyone goes for his way. But she had to make all public and be the victim for some reason. Well, because that's what they do. And, they all love attention and validation, but you know what? Sometimes negative attention validation is better than no attention and validation. And last but not least, one guy says, you're still not the a-hole. It seems like she got what was coming to her, minus the threats, of course. Those should never happen. It seems like accountability is like kryptonite to her. She only did the right thing when she had no other choice. Ding, ding, ding. Well, accountability is a kryptonite to pretty much all the fairer sex. I wish there was a way we can see this stuff when we meet them so we can avoid the toxicity. I'm sure you would never in a million years guessed that she would have done what she did. Please keep us updated about her boss and her job situation. It'll be interesting to see how this whole thing turns out. Hopefully you can put this stuff behind you and move forward. Good luck. Yes, I do wish him luck. But something tells me this isn't over. I mean, I don't want this guy to have more drama, but usually gals like this, she's probably going to have the last word. She's probably going to have some revenge here. And you'd think that she'd learn not to mess with this guy. But then again, there's some pretty effing dumb people out there. So I'll keep an eye on this. And if you guys see an update before I do, let me know about this. But anyhow, bottom line is, guys, F around and find out.